19 bookings, a brawl, and the GOAT cursing out an opponent on live TV. All of this was delivered to us on the 9th of December 2022 in the most violent game in football history, the quarter-final between Argentina and the Netherlands at the 2022 World Cup. This game was so heated, it was dubbed the Battle of Lusail. And this battle didn't just start in 2022. Argentina and the Netherlands have a long-standing rivalry which dates back all the way to the 70s. These guys almost always meet at the World Cup. They met in the group stage in 1974, the final in 78, the quarter-final in 98, group stage in 2006, semi-final in 2014, and most recently, the quarter-final in 2022. The 1978 World Cup was hosted by Argentina, and it was alleged that there was a lot of political pressure, much of which favoured Argentina throughout the tournament. Argentina won the final 3-1, denying the Netherlands a first-ever World Cup trophy. And you could say that that was where the Dutchmen started to hate the Argentines. In 1998, the Netherlands won with a 90th minute winner from Bergkamp, which is still regarded as one of the greatest goals in World Cup history. The 2014 semi-final was tight. It ended 0-0, and Argentina went on to win on penalties. Interestingly, the man in charge of the Dutchmen at the 2014 tournament was the same man in charge in 2022. Louis van Gaal had retired in 2019, but he came out of retirement for one last dance with the Netherlands national team. Their tournament started great, much better than Argentina's. The Netherlands topped their group without losing a single game. Meanwhile, Argentina lost their opening game of the tournament to a more inferior Saudi Arabia. The Netherlands' unbeaten streak going into the quarter-final was 19, and they were looking to extend it. Perhaps all of that gave the Dutchmen too much confidence, and they started to make some really bold statements. In the build-up to the game, Van Gaal said, "We've got a score to settle with Argentina for what happened 2 World Cups ago." But more controversially, he suggested that Lionel Messi was Argentina's weak link, and that really upset the Argentines. They don't joke about their captain, so they made sure to hold a grudge. The man in charge of this game was Mateu Lahoz, the now retired Spanish referee known as a no-nonsense ref, whose fingers were never too far from a card. The first 10 minutes were a cagey affair. Both sides had chances, but they were very disciplined at the back, so nothing went through. In the 10th minute, Messi found Acuna, but the fullback was unable to find anybody in the box with his cross. Minutes later, a pass was threaded to Steven Bergwijn, but Emi Martinez was quick to come out and claim the ball. In the 22nd minute, we saw Messi hit the ball wide off the mark from outside the box, and shortly after that, Bergwijn also went wide from just outside the box. There was really nothing between these guys for the first 30 minutes of the game, and we all knew that it would take something spectacular for the deadlock to be broken. And that was exactly what Lionel Messi produced in the 35th minute. The former Barcelona man came up with one of the most insane defense-splitting passes we have ever seen. Nahuel Molina got at the end of it, and boom, Argentina were a goal up. Messi had just provided one of the craziest assists in World Cup history, but little did we know that he was going to give us even more unforgettable moments that same day. But for now, the game was still looking rather peaceful and straightforward. We had only seen one yellow card, and it went to Argentina's assistant coach, Walter Samuel. How can you call this game the most violent in football history? Well, with just minutes left in the first half, the players said, "Hold my beer," and things really started to heat up. The first yellow card to a player came in the 43rd minute after Acuna caught Dumfries pretty late. Jurriën Timber was mad about the foul, and he reacted by pushing Acuna to the ground. Lejos didn't hesitate to show him a yellow card too. Just 3 minutes later, Cristian Romero handled the ball pretty blatantly and was immediately booked for that. The Netherlands would then get a free kick that looked threatening, but Martinez handled it rather easily. He would later hope he was able to handle an even more important free kick just as easily later in the game. But for now, the cards didn't stop flowing. Wout Weghorst was so desperate to get in on the action that he got booked while on the bench. The Dutch fans must have been so mad at him for getting such a pointless yellow. Little did they know he was warming up some real heroics for the second half. The game was really heating up now. We had gone 42 minutes without seeing any player getting booked, only for us to see 4 bookings in 5 minutes. Everyone thought that the halftime break would help quell the volcano that was brewing, but it actually went on to erupt fully in the second period. The Netherlands were so desperate to get back into the game, so they came into the second half breathing fire. Their attacking efforts intensified, tackles intensified, and the violence most definitely intensified. Not long into the second half, Dumfries and Van Dijk combined and brought Messi down just outside the box, which provided Messi a goal-scoring chance, but his strike just scraped the crossbar. Then, in the 71st minute, Acuna was brought down by Dumfries just at the edge of the box, so Lajos awarded Argentina a penalty. Messi stepped up and converted pretty coolly. 2-0 Argentina. After Messi was done celebrating with his teammates, he walked towards the Netherlands bench and cupped his ears in Van Gaal's direction, a gesture which had huge symbolism. That celebration was done by Juan Roman Riquelme, a man who Messi regards as one of his heroes. So Van Gaal coached Riquelme at Barcelona, and, to cut the long story short, the Dutchman nearly ended the Argentine's career by consistently refusing to play him. But Riquelme would later get a chance, and when he scored, he cupped his ears at Van Gaal. So after everything Van Gaal said about him before the game, Messi felt that that was the most appropriate gesture in the moment, after having scored and put his team 2 goals up. Messi must have thought that his 73rd minute goal had sealed the win for his team, but it seems Messi poked the bear with his celebration. After that goal, Van Gaal made a very huge change. He took off Memphis and brought in Weghorst. But just before that change, something interesting happened. A cross was sent into the Argentine box, but Eni Martinez got to it first and Luc de Jong found himself on the ground. That led to a little altercation, which saw the ref show yellow cards to Memphis and Lisandro Martinez. But if you think that was it for the bust-ups in this game, you're in for a real shocker. After Weghorst came in, the Netherlands coach said, "To hell with build-ups," and just instructed his players to cross the ball in for the 6'6" centre-forward. Did it work? You bet it did. Just 5 minutes after he came on, Weghorst got to the end of a beautiful cross from Berghuis and halved the deficit in the 83rd minute. Now this was when the real battle started. The Netherlands intensified their efforts to get an equaliser, while Argentina got super nervous about losing their lead. In the 85th minute, Berghuis hit the side netting, shortly after which he saw yellow for a foul on Messi at the centre of the pitch. And then, in the 88th minute, we reached the crescendo of the whole brouhaha, the real battle of Lusail. Paredes fouled Ake, but like that wasn't bad enough. He stood up and booted the ball straight into the Netherlands bench, and all hell was let loose. The entire Dutch bench came storming towards Paredes, and as expected, the Argentines came to lend assistance to their teammate, and a proper brawl broke out, perhaps the biggest fight we've seen in a World Cup game. Tensions rose to the roof as players fell to the ground. The action was going down as the cards were flying up. Paredes and Scaloni saw yellow at that moment, but that was only just the beginning. Lajos was still going to show a lot more cards in that game. But for now, he managed to get the game under control. Lengthy additional time was a theme of this World Cup, and this match did not disappoint. 10 minutes were added, and once that number went up on the board, we all just knew that this box office football match still had some more drama for us. And we weren't wrong. In additional time, we saw Nicolas Otamendi and Lionel Messi get booked, but more significantly, we saw the Netherlands get awarded a free kick in the very last minute of stoppage time. We thought that Koopmeiners would just blast the ball and hope for the best, but instead he went for a tricky pass which beat the Argentine wall and reached Weghorst, who scored. The entire stadium went up in raptures. We had just seen one of the great free kick routines in World Cup history, and it coming in the very last second of this crazy game felt like the icing on an insane cake. But the match still wasn't over. As we went into extra time, the violence and drama made sure to come along with us. Extra time was a lot more cagey. It seemed like both teams were trying to be careful not to lose it all in the blink of an eye. They both had chances, but Argentina had more of them, and Scaloni decided to capitalise on that by taking off a centre-back, Lisandro, and bringing on an attacker, Di Maria. The Argentine pressure was really insane in extra time. Lautaro saw his shot blocked by Van Dijk and another saved by Noppert. Di Maria nearly scored straight from a corner. Messi shot just wide off the target a few times, but the closest they came was Enzo Fernandez, hitting the woodwork just seconds before the final whistle went. As far as the violence goes, that was still a prevalent theme. We saw 2 more yellow cards shown in extra time, but guess what? That was still not all. The game went to penalties. And in every other game, penalties are as straightforward as they come, but certainly not in this game. It was the gift that just wouldn't stop giving. The shootout was the Eni Martinez show. He applied every trick in the book to get into the heads of the Dutchmen, and it worked. He saved their first 2 kicks while Argentina converted theirs. Argentina stumbled when Enzo missed, but Eni's heroics were enough to secure the win for Argentina. As Lautaro walked up to take the last penalty, the Dutchman tried to get into his head, but that only earned Dumfries 2 bookings in the space of 1 minute. Yes, we saw a player get red-carded during a penalty shootout. Where have you ever seen that happen before? Dumfries' bookings took the tally to 19, and that became a record for the most bookings in a FIFA international tournament. Now, how can you argue this game being the most violent in football history? But guess what? The drama still wasn't over. After Lautaro converted the last penalty, Otamendi cupped his ears toward the Netherlands players. Messi exchanged heated words with Van Gaal, and Emi Martinez cursed at the Netherlands coach.
Van Gaal saying, we got an advantage in penalties, if we go to penalties we win. I think he needs to keep his mouth shut.
And then, during his post-match interview, Messi spotted Weghorst standing not so far off, and he asked the now infamous question, ¿Qué miras, bobo? Which translates to, what are you looking at, fool? This moment went viral on social media, and all sorts of memes were made out of it.
Con Leo Messi, bueno Leo, quedaste un poco caliente por el final.
Bro, this game was so heated that fans all around the world nearly got burned just by watching it on TV. If this quarter-final game between Argentina and the Netherlands at the 2022 World Cup isn't the most violent game in football history, then tell me what is in the comments. Pat yourself on the back for watching this far. But guess what? Our video series doesn't end here. The next story brings a whole new perspective to the table. Different, engaging, and equally exciting. Click on the video that appears on the screen to watch more.